Hello, my name is Naheed Oberfeld, and I want to welcome you to my complimentary online training program on discovering your hidden money obstacles that are paralyzing you. Now, you might say that's a bold claim that I'm making. After all, how could I, without knowing anything about you, help you discover something that's hidden even from yourself? And the best way for me to explain it is to start by telling you about the experiences of one of my first clients. His name is Joe. Like some of you on the call, Joe is a hardworking, driven professional with a great job. However, like so many of us, he had bigger goals for himself. He had started a part-time coaching practice doing what he's most passionate about, but like many in this field, struggled to get clients. He also wanted to get his financial house in order, save for his retirement, and have money to do the things he loved. However, year after year, he was faced with the same disappointing level of savings and debt and was not living up to his full potential. In short, he knew he was far more than just an average Joe. And through my training today, I'm going to explain how Joe was able to break through his obstacles and how this process can help you too. As a success strategist, I am known for helping my clients quickly identify their sabotaging money patterns so that they can exceed their financial goals and live the big life they desire. And today it's my honor to welcome you to my complimentary training program on discovering your hidden money obstacles that are paralyzing you so that you can clearly understand exactly why you have not met your financial goals. It doesn't matter if you work for yourself, or are employed by a company, or do a little bit of both. If you're on this call, chances are you see a little of Joe in yourself. You have a financial goal, but it keeps eluding you, and every year the frustration, disappointment, and maybe even despair deepens. You probably wonder what I can do to change the situation, and if you're like most people, the more desperate the situation gets, the more you need to act. And this puts you in a painful situation of spinning your wheels and putting in a lot of effort and mental anguish only to make a small improvement. The secret is in understanding Einstein's quote, which says, "We can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them." And today I'm going to show you how to once and for all move beyond your financial obstacles by shifting your thinking. I'm going to ask you to keep a paper and pen handy because we are going to dive deep into my training, and you will definitely want to take notes when we get to the exercises section. So as I mentioned earlier, this training is for you if you want to increase your earnings, but you feel like it's an uphill battle. Or maybe you're stuck in recurring self-defeating patterns of not earning your full potential. Or if you feel pressure and anxiety because your business has not achieved the level of success you dreamed of. Or maybe you're comfortable where you are, but you want to achieve your reach goals. In short, you're in the right place if you have put your dreams on hold, waiting for the day your financial picture turns around. And I'm going to show you today how to diagnose your most influential negative money pattern so that you can see how much this mindset, or what I call a paradigm, has been costing you in terms of lost wealth, reduced confidence in yourself, and perhaps even decreasing the quality of your life. If we go back to Einstein's quote, "You cannot solve your problems using the same thinking that created them," this is what he meant. As a result of your money paradigms, which are your beliefs, your emotions, and behavior, we subconsciously create repeating patterns, which are sometimes helpful, but other times not so much. And the reason we do that is because at a deeper level, this is what feels familiar and in some ways comforting, even if it's painful to experience. Now, those of you who may pride yourself on logic and analytical reasoning might say, "That's silly." Even if others do that, I certainly don't. And I want to give you an example of our money paradigms working against us. Did you know an estimated 33% of mega lottery winners, and these are the 100 100 million rather dollar winners plus, so over that amount. They go bankrupt in 2 to 5 years. I'm talking about multi-million dollar payouts that should easily last a lifetime, and it is all because of these familiar patterns that subconsciously we keep on repeating. So if there's a part of us that cannot accept earning more than our programmed money paradigms, earning more wealth and keeping it is going to feel like a constant uphill battle. Think back to a goal that you wanted to achieve, something you had your heart set on. Maybe you wanted to start an exercise program or eat healthily, or perhaps you wanted to start a yoga class and meditate. How easy was it for you to take the first few steps? And then how long were you able to sustain them? We all have good intentions that somehow never quite take off. And today, through my exercises, I'm going to expose your hidden money paradigms so that you can see exactly what is holding you back. So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm a success strategist and my degrees are in psychology and finance. My experience has led me to develop an expertise in uncovering money patterns that hold people back. And in the process, I've helped people increase their money by removing their emotional baggage attached to money. I've also helped them stop compulsively spending, reduce crushing debt, and develop confidence in themselves so that they are inspired to live their big dreams. In all of this time, I became really good at identifying self-defeating patterns, which I use to help my clients quickly uncover and move through behavior that keeps them from achieving their big goals. I learned that a small but influential part in all of us is holding on to sabotaging belief systems and did not know how to let go. After experiencing gaining this valuable experience, I decided to bring my expertise and my unique branded system, which I'm going to show you and to anyone who is ready and willing to step forward and say, yes, this is my time. And I also just wanted to let you know that I did not create the system in a vacuum. And the reason that I'm passionate about sharing information about identifying and clearing money blocks is that I struggled for years to create a career that I loved. I went down the traditional corporate route and ended up working for a Fortune 100 company that did not fulfill my need for purpose. And what I did not realize at that time was that everything I had been experiencing was a result of the negative money paradigms I had created for myself. And as Albert Einstein pointed out, my thinking led to my behavior, which then created the situation I was in. A part of me did not believe that I was able to create a career I loved and make money doing it. And so when I started to investigate my inner money paradigms, which are my beliefs, emotions, and behaviors, I discovered lurking inside my subconscious was this idea that I needed to work really hard and slowly and painfully climb my way from the very bottom to get the respect, the recognition, and the money that I deserved. And these subconscious beliefs created my outer reality, which of course further reinforced my belief systems. So unknowingly, I had created a really scary negative feedback loop and I felt lost, confused, and without hope. And I'm guessing that at least some of you on the call today may have felt this way at some point in your life. So why does it matter for us to uncover these belief systems? And the reason is once you have uncovered your money blocks, you will have greater clarity as to why your business or your career or your finances in general look the way they do. In the past, you may have felt that you were at the mercy of arbitrary factors. The season or weather if you owned a shop, the economy if you worked in a company, or unexpected financial pitfalls that keep you in debt or prevent you from building your savings. And while all of this definitely does have an influence, you will discover that your inner thoughts, beliefs, and emotions dictate what you experience in your outer life. Just as Einstein said. The good news about identifying your money blocks is that you will also realize there is nothing wrong or lacking in you. I know from my own experience that I felt I was way off track because I was missing something important. At least I thought I was missing something important in me. Either I was not smart enough, I was not dedicated enough, or I just did not have what it took to be successful. So, to continue with my story about my first client, Joe, we started to uncover his mindset about his coaching business. And I quickly learned that Joe did have clients, but none of them were paying clients. In other words, he offered his services for free. When we discussed it and said that he first wanted to get certified, a reasonable enough decision, except that he already had received at least one certification, but wasn't satisfied until he achieved all the other certifications he desired. Using my unique branded system, we started to uncover the different layers of beliefs and emotions in him, and I learned that Joe's issue was that he wasn't comfortable charging for his services. And then we realized that one of the reasons Joe avoided setting a fee for his clients is that he did not like charging senior citizens. He had a strong aversion to elders being scammed out of their fixed income, and that the necessary conversation about payment felt really uncomfortable to Joe. He knew he was providing a tremendous service to his clients, but his money paradigms were getting in his way. As a result, his logical mind came up with an excellent distraction. He would give his service away for free until all his certifications were completed, and delay dealing with the inevitable of charging clients. By the way, this is something all of us do. We base our behavior on emotion, and then we use our logical mind to justify that decision. Researchers state that we use as little as 15% of our logical and analytical mind to make decisions, and it gets even scarier when we're stressed because that number goes all the way down to 3%. In Joe's case, the emotion was a strong discomfort while talking to elders about his fees, and the logical part of him rationalized it by saying he would start charging after he finished the remaining 4 or 5 certifications he wanted. So I'm hoping that you're able to see the play between our immediate emotional reaction and how we justify our decisions using logic. And perhaps you can even see yourself doing this. Joe and I worked on his resistance to charging clients for about 2 more sessions, and then I received an amazing email from him. He said he was working with a client and told her that she needed more sessions to complete the healing process, and the client decided she was going to continue with his services and started paying him for his time. Same thing happened with a daughter of another free client who wanted to work with him and willingly paid for his services. So in the space of a couple of weeks, he went from making no money from his coaching business to earning over $1,000 without even lifting a finger, only because he cleared his belief systems that kept him from accepting money. So what about Joe changed? We had shifted his money paradigm so that he no longer felt willing to provide unlimited free sessions. Previously, he felt discouraged that he did not have any paying clients, but he did not recognize the heavy emotion he felt when talking about his fees, which was the culprit. It kept him from taking the action he needed. And once we uncovered the cause of Joe's resistance, which is how he thought about charging clients, we started to clear those heavy emotions. And in addition, his level of confidence in himself translated when he approached his clients, and that meant his clients took both him and his work seriously. As a result, there was no question about paying him for his services. In this training today, I'm going to cover with you as much as I possibly can because my goal is to help you uncover as many blocks as possible that are holding you back today. And so our time together today is limited. So for those of you who want to take these aha moments of insight and turn them into deeper transformation and gain maximum benefit, I suggest that you contact me and we can set up a free consultation. So everybody teaches steps to get richer or techniques on making wiser and better decisions, such as creating a financial plan or budget. But have you noticed how many people actually follow through? Doesn't it seem that those who already have money are the only ones making more of it? What I've found is that techniques such as plans, budgets, and other very helpful ideas are mostly useless if you still have negative money paradigms that keep you from implementing them properly. And what I'm going to focus on later on is showing you what is stopping you from achieving your full potential. And then comes the equally important part of removing those obstacles. So in our time today, we're going to take a deep dive into step 1 of my training on discovering and clearing your inner money obstacles that are paralyzing you. And just as the title suggests, before we can clear, we first need to uncover our negative money paradigms, and that's where we're going to start. So if you were to leave today with just this information, you will, for perhaps the first time, recognize the powerful influences of money paradigms and exactly what is working for you and where you're stuck. Knowing this will empower you to take the most strategic and impactful steps that are targeted to your unique blocks. You're going to benefit from this whether you're running your own business, working for a company, or doing a little of both. So, before we start, I want to explain something in the interest of full disclosure. In order for me to show you where your money paradigms are, I really need to walk you through that mentally and emotionally. And for those of you who have not participated in what I call my experiences during my workshops, I'm going to take you through a series of guided exercises that are designed to bring up the discomfort and perhaps even the pain of these paradigms. Now, your natural inclination may be to resist, and you may want to shut down. After all, why would anybody want to focus on something that feels negative? But the thinking is that you don't want to attract more of that into your life. And if that is how you feel, what we're actually doing is the opposite. We're not putting anything negative into your subconscious. We're instead uncovering something that's already there. Think of it this way. Anytime we examine something we're not proud of, just the mere recollection of it causes us to feel embarrassed, right? But you didn't introduce that embarrassment. Rather, the emotion emerged spontaneously by focusing on the incident. So this is what we're going to be doing today. We're going to look at your money paradigms, and that focus will feel uncomfortable and bring up some heavy feelings. I know that it did for me. But I'm going to ask you to please stick with me because it's through this crucial exercise that you're going to understand where your money blocks are. At this point, in order for you to get everything that I promised, I'm going to ask that you stop multitasking and really commit to focusing for the remaining time. And remember, uncovering your money paradigms is the gold that we're after. And by participating and giving your full attention to these experiences, you will definitely identify at least one major pattern that's been holding you back. Many of you will uncover plenty of them, some profound, and a few that are more minor annoyances, but they still hold you back. So keep your paper and pen handy, and we're ready to start the experiences. So take a deep breath, and do it one more time. Because we're going to shift from thinking, which fills us with overwhelm, stress, and anxiety, to really feeling what's going on inside of us. So let's start with exercise 1. We're going to focus on your earliest money paradigms, which are your deepest held beliefs that are sabotaging and limiting your money. And you're going to be able to diagnose your biggest negative money obstacle that contributes to your problems. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and get comfortable. We're about to watch a movie, and the star of the movie is going to be a young girl or boy around 6 or 7 years old. This could be you, or for those of you who have trouble remembering your early childhood, create an imaginary character. and fill in the details as you would imagine them to be. Your subconscious mind will lead you to what is relevant for you. So I'm going to ask all of you to create this picture of this young girl or boy. And then next I want you to visualize the house that you were living in at that time. See your parents in the house. Your parents are sitting in a room talking about bills and money. You are in a corner away from your parents, but watching and observing everything. Just observe that scene for a moment. Is the discussion calm or heated? Do your parents look stressed and worried? Or are they free? Are they feeling confident and relaxed? Take note of the emotions that you see your parents experiencing. Did you observe them to work hard and struggle to earn? If they ran their own business, what did they have to give up? If it was a typical 9-to-5 job, did they feel like there was adequate compensation? Were you comfortably off? Did you feel safe and secure? Or was there conflict about money? Who earns it and who's allowed to spend it? Did one person dominate or control through money? Now I want you to turn your attention to your younger self standing in the corner. What emotions are your younger self experiencing by watching all of this? Is this a picture of harmony or disharmony this young child is observing? And as you observe the scene, do you have any memories about money that come to mind when you were a young child? Are these memories pleasant or painful? For some people, there was no discussion about money, and it felt like it was a giant void, and money is something very difficult for them to connect with. So what does that feel like? What emotions does that bring up in you? Sometimes people describe it as being denied something important and fundamental. Okay, I'd like you to open your eyes, and I'd like you to answer some of these questions. And if you have your paper and pencil with you, this would be a good time to start writing these down. Growing up, my belief about money was what? So I'm going to repeat the question. Growing up, my belief about money was what? Is it that it was easy to get? Not enough? What comes up for you? Then the next question is, watching my parents work for money, I learned that money was what? Watching my parents work for money, I learned that money was what? Then I want you to decide, was money a source of conflict in your house, or was it not a source of conflict? And then the last question is, I learned that who controlled the money in my house? Was it the male, the female, the father, the mother, or somebody else? Who was the person? If you had one person controlling the money, who would that person be? Okay. Next, I want you to put yourself in a slightly older age. So say you're 14, 15, 16, young teenage years. And I want you to think about a time when you wanted money for something that was considered an extra. So not something necessary, but that you had set your heart on. and you really wanted it. And the next question that I'd like you to answer is, convincing my parent to give me money was what? Was it easy? Was it difficult? Was it tricky? Convincing my parent to give me money was what? And then, in order to be given money, I needed to prove that what? In order to be given money, I needed to prove what? My belief about deserving money is what? Many of us have a belief that we have to work really hard. So was that a belief that you developed when you were young? And if not, what was your belief about deserving money? And then next, in order to receive money, I had to give up what? Did you have to give up your time in order to do more chores? What was the trade-off for getting something? What did you have to give up? And then the last statement is, the voice I hear in my head about money belongs to my whom? And what did that person always say? Did that person have a saying that they would repeat over and over and over again? So the voice I hear in my head about money belongs to whom? Is it a parent? Is it a teacher? And what did that person say? Or what was the implication of what that person would say or do when it came to money? So I want you to take a moment and look over your answers and see if anything jumps out, especially related to how one or both of your parents' views of money and whether it's similar to yours or completely opposite to your views. So the way we generally work is that as children, we download everything from our parents. And we either follow through with it, how they follow their plans with money or how they had their experiences with money is usually how we then experience money in our lives. So if they are stressed about money and always felt that there was a lack of it, you might notice that you see that in your own life. Or you might have decided at a young age that you were never going to follow your parents' paradigm and that you were going to do everything exactly the opposite. And so there's always that push in you to never be like your parents, to never follow in your parents' footsteps. So just really take a moment, because these exercises are designed to help bring up to your conscious mind all those inner beliefs that you have long forgotten, and memories potentially as well that were long forgotten. And you may see something you never thought of, but now you can start beginning to see how these formative years are influencing your decisions and behaviors today. All right. So the next piece is to think about your current picture of your money and to see how much of the beliefs that you held on to are still true for you today. So when you think about your situation today, who do you need to convince to receive money today? Is it your boss? Would it be customers? Is it a spouse? And what do you need to prove to that person to receive money? How would you have to convince that person that, yes, you actually deserve money? What would you need to do? And when you think think of those first two questions that I asked you. What does that person resemble, who does that person resemble from your childhood? Whether it's your boss or your clients, who does that person resemble from your childhood? And do you feel like you are repeating that pattern that you started so many years ago? Again, focusing on today, what would you have to give up in order to get more money? Is it more you have to give up your time or something else that's important to you? And then finally, I'd like you to finish the sentence. My situation today reminds me of the time when what? My situation today reminds me of the time when what happened? Okay, so we started with these short exercises to help bring to your consciousness events and experiences that were foundational to the creation of your money paradigms. And it also shows us our emotional baggage related to money. So if you had trouble seeing your parents easily and effortlessly earn, then it's likely that you too will repeat that pattern because it's familiar. And remember, anything that's outside of your comfort zone feels very threatening, so we tend to keep up with the familiar. So I hope that you're beginning to start to see how these negative money paradigms are developing in you. These experiences are designed to build upon each other so that we can uncover layer after layer and move deeper into our subconscious, as though we're peeling an onion. So we're about to move on to exercise 2. In this exercise, money is going to be used as a metaphor for being supported and feeling belonged, as though you're belonging. The more you feel you're part of something, whether it's your family, your community, what I call your tribe, the more you will value your money-making activities. And conversely, the more you feel you are in opposition to your family, the harder it is to maintain a high level of success. It's going to feel like struggle, and you're going to need a greater degree of willpower to keep forcing things to happen. Whereas our goal is always to allow, right? So think about your ideal earnings, annual earnings. Just come up with a number, whatever you feel would work well with your budget. Now I'm going to ask you to imagine to double that. And now think about all the things you would have or be able to do in your life. Okay? Because now you've created your ideal income scenario and you've doubled it. So it's fair to say that you're probably a very wealthy person, at least in this exercise. And you're driving to your family's house in your brand new car. Okay? There's a family gathering that's taking place and you're heading over there. It's a family celebration and everyone is sitting around the dining room table. And you take your place around the table as well. I want you to scan everybody around the table. How are they dressed? Now, look at yourself. How are you dressed? Are you dressed to stand out because now you can afford more? Or do you feel like you have to blend in? Do you feel like you fit in now that your economic situation has shifted? Do others see you as a success and as an aspiration? Or do they feel resentment? And if others knew how much I earned, they would feel what? I'd like you to write this down. So if everyone else around the table, if you had a card hanging down your neck that printed out the amount of money that you had made, what would others think about? What would they feel if they knew how much you were making? And now that they know how much you make, what is the dominant emotion that comes up in you? Do you feel judged? Do you feel excited? So I want you to write that down. What's the dominant emotion that comes up once you know that everybody else knows exactly how much you're making? Now, for some of you, this is a difficult exercise and you might actually feel the stress in your body. And it's your body through its stress response system, which is hardwired to run these emotions and physical sensations when you think about success and making more money than what your set point is, where you currently are. Which is why we sabotage ourselves, either by procrastinating or distracting ourselves, whether it's food or alcohol. The reason why we don't go for something big is because we have these inner conflicts about feeling judged or any other reason why we might want to hesitate and not move forward. So I hope you're beginning to see or get a glimpse as to what may be holding you back. And it's these emotions, these feelings and these emotions that are coming up that act as a brake. So the next question I'd like you to think about is, now that I make all this money, I have proven to whom? And what? So you've made this money. Who do you feel like you have proven something important to? Who in your life would that person be? And what would you have proven? So what ends up happening, and we don't fully realize this because it's all very subconscious, is that making money and success becomes more a symbol for past grievances. When it comes to our business or when it comes to our finances, it really is independent of any emotional baggage that we hold on to. And the more emotional baggage we have, the harder it is to drop and move forward. So if you found this exercise to be particularly powerful for you, then know that you have an issue with holding on to past grievances, and that's dragging your money-making opportunities and abilities down. And this exercise also helps you realize how deeply connected we all are to our tribes subconsciously. And if standing out from your family and friends feel uncomfortable, it's going to be hard to sustain a successful endeavor, whether it's your business or your personal finances. And also, if you have an "I'm going to show them" attitude, then you're more invested in the game of proving them wrong than making money itself. So as I mentioned, it becomes more of a metaphor for past experiences and grievances. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to stop and take a deep breath again. Because for some of you, this may have brought up some strong emotions, but I hope you also see how much your money paradigms are dragging your financial goals. And maybe for the first time, you see how much these hidden beliefs are costing you in terms of lost wealth. I had spoken to a client of mine once when she'd come for a consultation, and I asked her, we went through this exercise, and I asked her, how much money does she think that she has lost out on because of her money paradigms? And she even shocked herself because she said $500,000 over the life of her career. So that's promotions and any kind of bonuses and anything else that would have come from that. And the reason she felt that way was because she always took the safe path and never attempted to go for her stretch positions. And so after doing a quick calculation of lost wages, bonuses, and the compounding effect of higher salaries, she really felt she had given up $500,000. And that's a really sobering thought. So take a moment and do the same thing for yourself. If you did not have your unsupporting money paradigms, how much extra do you feel you could have earned or saved or reduced in debt. Alright, so next I'm going to show you how to change it so that you can change your money paradigm so you can achieve outrageous cash flow. So if you own your own business or break through your inner financial ceiling if you're a career professional. And by clearing your money paradigms, you will dramatically increase your wealth opportunities because you have finally set your money goals free from your emotional baggage. So we're going to move on to exercise 3. Imagine someone in the same financial situation as you are, and that person hands you a $10 bill for no reason at all. Kind of like when someone ahead of you pays your way on the toll, right? So how would that feel? Do you willingly take it, or do you need a justification before you accept it? Now imagine that someone has given you $100. How do you feel now? Is that something that still feels comfortable for you? And remember, there's no justification. This person's never met you. It's not your birthday. There's no justifiable reason for giving you something. It's just that they felt like you were worth it. Now, if the $100 felt comfortable, how about $1,000? How did that feel to you? And I want you to think about what amount are you willing to accept before you get uncomfortable. And think about the next sentence. I'd like you to fill in the blanks. Receiving money when I blank makes me feel blank because what? So let me give you my example. When I did this for myself all the way in the beginning. So receiving money when I, for example, don't deserve it makes me feel uncomfortable because I feel that I did not do anything to warrant that money. Right? So I'm going to repeat it one more time. Receiving money when I blank makes me feel blank because of what? Now, this exercise is an indication of how much you have to work to deserve money. So, for example, if I feel I have not done anything to deserve it, then I'm not going to even accept money. So everybody says they want to work less and earn more, but most of us, especially when we come from middle-income families, have a very strong work ethic. We have to work really, really hard to get something, and making money for just being or doing what we love is just not part of our paradigm. So if you are one of those people who wants to work less and make more money, and this ended up being an issue for you, really pay attention here, because this is something that's going to constantly trip you up. So, as I explained in the beginning, I created a highly targeted and effective training program that will walk you through the steps to unleash your money goals from your emotional history. And you're going to learn an easy stress reduction technique which you will apply in every module in my program as you uncover all the ways you sabotage your success. And if this is something that you find is holding you back, I invite you to take an opportunity to give me a call, and we will have a complimentary consultation where I will help you understand exactly what's holding you back and what the best way you have to move forward.